It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's time for I'm a shit poster on Twitter now.
What did you shit post? What did I miss?
Oh, you saw the post. I posted it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. that one's not surprising.
Oh, yeah. Well, is it really shit posting when the audience that got upset about it are shit?
That's fair. It's very true. Greg Cherry, Matty Law is along with you, and if you don't know, go follow me over on that at Greg Cherry Brand on Twitter and Blue Sky, and basically, if you search the username, odds are it's yours truly.
I was about to say I've only ever seen one other Greg Cherry, and it was in a video game.
You know, you're too young for what I was about to reference because that came out in like early 2000s. Never mind.
I might still know it.
Are you familiar with Homestar Runner?
Okay, I may be too.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Of a reference. All right. Anyway, a lot to talk about this episode. A lot of fun stuff to talk about this episode too. Really excited about what's coming up in the next week.
Do you want to start with what's excited, or do you want to end with that today?
We'll get to it in a little.
We can use that as promotion.
Exactly. So if you're not familiar with what I'm talking about, you'll find out later in the episode. So let's talk about.
Should we start with the title?
We should start with the title, and that's where I was going. Jey Uso. There seems to be, at least as far as the internet side of things is concerned, some difference of opinion, I guess I should say, on whether or not Jey Uso should dethrone Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. And some of it is kind of volatile, difference of opinion.
Oh, dude, it goes from very valid points to where we're going to have conversation about it, what we think about it. But then you get people that just turn it into tearing the person down as a whole, like trying to treat Jey Uso like a lesser person for saying that he should win the world title at Mania.
Yeah.
Like, this is a predetermined sport, y'all. It's not that serious.
That's very true. And the way I think about it is, and I put it in the title, if Jey Uso does not successfully dethrone Gunther at WrestleMania, is his time as main event Jey Uso up? Because I feel like Jey almost has to win this match, or else his credibility will significantly dip. He won the Royal Rumble to earn this spot. I feel like he has to win it now. And if he doesn't hold it for very
John Cena to get the spot.
Yes. As my cat tried to out of the room. Go ahead.
But yeah, no, like it's definitely, it feels like he has to win. It feels like Jey has to win this match. And the opponent being Gunther does not help this situation whatsoever.
No, and it's one of those things where there are some people saying that Gunther's reign isn't great either. So that begs the question. It's like, so what exactly do you want out of the World Heavyweight Championship picture at WrestleMania?
Gunther's on TV weekly. He's wrestling.
And previous Jey and Gunther matches have been good. So what are we complaining about here? Like,
I think it's that they haven't been great. They've been good matches. You like you said, they've been good matches.
Yeah.
But I don't think that any of those matches are close to WrestleMania caliber. Now, I'm not saying that Gunther can't carry a mop to a 4-star match. Mm-hmm. I'm saying that the chemistry might not be there for this to be a Mania caliber match. I feel like some people are upset that it was Jey that won the Rumble, and I heard those complaints. I understood those complaints, but it's a different winner. Nobody expected Jey Uso to win the shit.
No.
I like surprises in my Rumbles.
I do too.
Uso has that. Jey Uso has that story, that underdog caliber. Like, he can get one over. You can get one over on Gunther.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean shit. But if you have Jey go over on Gunther at WrestleMania, it's not going to be because Jey is the better wrestler.
Ooh. And think about it this way. Sami Zayn, who dethroned Gunther's Intercontinental title reign, does he have even a direction for WrestleMania this year? Like, there's
because
so
it looks like
many.
we're getting Kevin and Randy.
Yeah, so there's so many unanswered questions. Is Sami going to end up in the Andre? Like, is that going to be? Which, by the way, I still say that the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
If he's in the fucking Dre.
Both of the Battle Royals, like, they haven't done the women's one since before the pandemic, but if they bring back the women's one, which they should, they have plenty of women to fill that ring. They should do one of them on the pre-show night one of them on the pre-show the night two. Do not put the Dre on SmackDown. The entire point.
You know we're getting a 2-hour talk show before each WrestleMania, man. We're not getting no wrestling on those pre-shows.
But it drives me nuts. Like, WrestleMania 35, which already was a long enough show, if you remember.
Oh, that was a long one.
That had 3 matches on the pre-show. That had the Battle Royal. That had the Cruiserweight title. Actually, it might have had 4 because I think it had.
I think it also had Baron and
Dean Ambrose. Yeah, and I think the tag title part.
Fourth match. I think there was a 4th match.
The tag title, right? Or was the Dre?
Was it Aries and Pac
Neville
that was doing the Cruiserweight title match?
Yeah, it was Aries and Neville. It was
Corbin and Ambrose.
And the tag titles, I believe. Let
me look that up real quick because I want to say there was a 4th match.
Yeah, versus Revival and Hawkins. I think the Battle Royal was the 4th match. Like,
dude, I think you're right. That was a pre-show, I'm pretty sure. Hold on.
Because Colin Jost and Michael Che of Saturday Night Live were in that match.
Oh, it's in full on YouTube.
The entire event, holy shit. Take a nap before you watch it because you're going to be watching for a while.
Event. Preliminary matches. Nope, that's not at all what I was needing. Results. There we go. The Cruiserweight title match was Tony Nese and Buddy Murphy that year.
Oh, I was thinking 33.
Carmella and Carmella won the Women's Battle Royal in that year.
Oh, maybe that was the one on the pre-show. Holy shit.
It was because the Revival versus Hawkins and Ryder, where Hawkins and Ryder won, and then, Braun Strowman eliminating Colin Jost to win the Dre. Those were the 4 on the pre-show.
Colin Jost and Michael Che were in the final 3 of a Battle Royal. Granted,
it was funny, at least.
Yeah. And that was the last Dre at WrestleMania, which they didn't do one at 2020 for obvious reasons. But putting it on SmackDown just feels like doing it such a disservice.
Yeah, especially since the year after they did do the Dre, they did do that Battle Royal, but they did it on the SmackDown before Mania in front of no audience. You could have easily had that. I don't even know if that Mania had a pre-show, did it?
I think it kind of did because it rained for the first 10 minutes of WrestleMania, which that was definitely interesting.
Oh shit! I forgot. Yeah, that Mania was in a stadium, but
that was in a
limited audience.
With like a half-packed stadium. Which night 1 of that WrestleMania was fantastic, and the main event was amazing.
Oh yeah.
Night 2, debatable. Either way, I think that the Andre Battle Royal should be a part of WrestleMania weekend. I don't care for it on the SmackDown before. I never have. I thought when they moved it to SmackDown, I was like, man, that's like, if you're trying to be cheap and like cut people out of like WrestleMania bonuses by doing that, that sucks, man. That
Oh
really,
yeah, that's shit because you've got so much talent on that roster.
Yeah.
That all of them should be able to get a Mania check because you can at least have a 30-man and a 30-woman battle royal for shits and grins. On the pre-show. It doesn't even have to be that big of a fucking Mania bonus because you're on the pre-show. But you're there. You're performing at WrestleMania, which is the dream of so many fucking wrestlers.
Yeah. So, like, you have to realize, like, there have been some pretty big names in those battle royals in years past. So I don't see why it's such a big deal to move them all to SmackDown for that battle royal. It doesn't do anybody any good. Like, everybody's been queuing up the Lashley thing of him just coming out with the trophy at WrestleMania 39, and that was all he did. Which, granted,
I forgot about that.
That was. I'm sure they wanted to get him on the show because he was initially supposed to face Bray Wyatt, and obviously that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But
that was an unfortunate set of circumstances, too.
It was. But again, WWE, if you're listening, which I don't know if you are, but I've seen some ideas taken from my Twitter, for crying out loud. And I think you got to put the Battle Royal back on WrestleMania weekend and bring back the women's. I mean, you've got like, what, 20, 25 women in NXT.
Well, so the reason they didn't do the women's Battle Royal was because initially when they brought it out, they tied it to Moolah. And then everything that came out about Moolah. I understand, but it was the stench of what it was originally. They can rebrand it and bring it back.
Call it the Mae Young. Well, not the Mae Young Classic because like that was the tournament, but they don't do that anymore. So call it the Mae Young Memorial Battle Royal.
They need to bring back the Mae Young Classic. That was one of the best tournaments WWE had held in a while.
Yeah, but
same thing with the Cruiserweight Classic.
You figure they were able to do that because AEW didn't exist. Like they haven't done the Mae Young Classic since AEW's been in business. What I would like to see, and this is completely separate from WrestleMania at all, I would like to see like an independent promoter do like a one-night thing where they just do like a 50-man Royal Rumble and a 50-woman Royal Rumble and like get talent from all over the world. Just like load it up with the best talent and like give them like a check for winning. I don't know, like some gimmicky thing.
Yeah,
just as a one-off, and just as a hey, you get these interactions. Can you imagine like freaking Bianca Belair face to face in that Rumble with timeless Tony Storm? Like
in gimmick, like in character.
Gimmick, yeah. It's just a matter, or like
getting current Swerve Strickland face to face with someone like a Seth Rollins.
Yeah, or Ospreay even. Like Ospreay and Seth
getting
Rollins.
That ever elusive Ospreay Rollins interaction.
Exactly. You probably have to keep Punk and the Young Bucks away from each other, but that's another story.
I think we could do without bringing them in for the show.
Yeah, the Young Bucks, I don't feel like would add a ton, honestly. Like,
especially in a battle royal like that, unless you're doing Young Bucks versus the New Day, unless you're doing that match.
Yeah, which I feel like would have, but they can't do the Young Bucks and Kenny versus the full New Day.
Yeah, because I mean, you could have Kenny and Big E on the out, have Kenny and Big E on commentary.
I was gonna say Big E doesn't even make sense anymore because of the split.
No,
so.
No, but you can have him on commentary still for that.
I mean, you could. That might be a pretty entertaining commentary deal.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
This is I had my druthers. Like, if I had the money to be like, hey, I would love to book a show just as a complete one-off, as a best in the world type thing.
Yeah.
And then naturally have Shane McMahon win. Because
bro, I swear to God.
It's me that was talking about.
I think you would get the most hate mail you've ever gotten in your life if you booked that show. If you had it go off without a hitch for like 6 matches until the final match. And then you have Shane McMahon win the 50-man battle royal for the greatest wrestler on the earth right now.
Yes.
Oh.
I would so do that.
Just at the beginning of the show, it's just a small print, no refunds whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, it'd be the last match of the night, so what are they going to do?
Huh, what? You watched 6 matches and enjoyed it just because you didn't enjoy the ending?
Yeah. Listen, I had to sit through the 2014 Royal Rumble for, the entire crowd to boo for the last 15 minutes of it, so.
Yeah, that was something too. But yeah, back to Jey Uso. Do you think he should beat Gunther?
I don't know if he should beat Gunther. I feel like he has to beat Gunther.
So you feel this is more of a necessity, like they have to do this to not just protect him, but maybe protect the Rumble as well.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Charlotte's beaten Tiffany.
Listen, as much as I don't want Charlotte to beat Tiffany, I feel like WWE is going to go full-blown. Like, this past week on SmackDown was the first Tiffany got one up on Charlotte, quote-unquote.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like Charlotte's going to get another championship run, which...
She's definitely going to get that other title run. I just don't think it's off of Tiffany. I think if they do this right, Charlotte's putting Tiffany over and making Tiffany look like $1 million fucking dollars.
You would think. I don't have that same confidence.
Mm.
I feel like Charlotte is going to defeat Tiffany and get her 15th championship.
Yes, my child.
I don't have high hopes for this match. I really don't. And it's not a knock to either performer. It's just
you're not interested.
I'm not excited about it. Like, sure,
if we would have had Tiffany versus Roxanne Perez,
yeah,
that would have been a Mania match that would have had people excited because it's 2 talents under 25 years old in a WrestleMania title match, world title match.
Yeah, I would have been perfectly happy with that. The problem is, like, I said from the word go, I haven't recorded the 2025 Rumble reviews, but I'll spoil this a little bit. I said it on the show right after the Rumble. Charlotte didn't need it. Charlotte has already been a 14-time champion. She's won a Rumble before. To make her the first women's 2-time Rumble winner, it's like, come on. Does she really need that many accolades? People are complaining about, Mercedes Moné having 4 championships, and they're like, oh, why does she win all the time? Where are those questions about Charlotte? Honestly.
Oh, they're there. It's just the stands are louder than because for some reason Charlotte's got Nicki Minaj fan base.
I don't understand it. I just don't get where the disconnect is. There's a little part of me that thinks the Mercedes hate is racism. There's a part of me that thinks that.
Valid.
Because I can't explain it any other way. I don't get how, in my opinion, the greatest in-ring women's wrestler of all time, yes, I'm saying of all time, gets such hate for, like, everything that she does. Is her finisher the best? No. But, like...
No, that's literally my only complaint, is that she needs a new damn finisher.
Yeah.
Literally, she knows her character. She knows exactly who she is, what she is in the professional wrestling business. She puts on great matches, even with people that don't necessarily want to work with her. Look back at Britt Baker.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I feel like, multiple belts, people feel like that's getting shoved down our throats, but we've had so many belt collectors over the last couple of years that it's not that out of the realm.
But
My
why?
only complaint's her title, is her finisher.
Why was this complaint not lodged against Kenny Omega? I mean, Kenny Omega, like people are like, oh, we don't follow Rev Pro, we don't follow New Japan. It's like, oh, so you guys follow AAA like hardcore? While he was the AAA Mega Champion.
Mega Champion.
Okay.
For like 200, 300 days or some shit like that.
Yeah, it's like, did you guys watch everything on Triple?
Speaking of, did you know that they just stripped Satnam Singh and Jinder Mahal of the tag titles because they haven't defended in 212 days?
Interesting. Wonder why. I know that.
How do you not book somebody for 212 days when they win your tag titles?
Exactly.
Is AAA the one that's booked by Conan still?
Maybe.
Or is that CMLL? It's one of the two, and I know he's got like hand in the booking committee.
Speaking of the Mexican organizations, good old Alberto El Patron got suspended for 6 months. Did you see that shit?
I saw it had something to do with the fan interaction or crowd.
Oh yeah,
interaction.
he jumped into the crowd because he was pissed about something. I saw somebody threw a chair at him, which I thought was hilarious. And I didn't see the rest of the clip, but if wrestlers should not go into the crowd for any reason. Like if you're going into like work or something, that's fine. But if you're going in to go after somebody in the crowd, that's a problem.
Yeah, because what was it? When Scott Steiner did that shit in India where he was like going into the crowd, that was all a work, even though he was throwing shit around. But Del Rio assaulting someone is not out of the realm of possibility, out of belief, out of legal standings. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a good look. I don't know why people are still booking him, quite frankly. Like the bloom is off that rose, and it has been.
Dude, he's not even the wrestler he was 10 years ago.
No, he wasn't.
Because if all this shit happened a decade ago, it would be a different story of people going, why are they still booking him? Well, he still has some talent. He doesn't have that anymore.
When he came back in 2015 to like beat Cena for the US title,
he still had it. He didn't miss a step, really, it felt.
There was no aura around him.
No, he didn't have aura after Mania 26 when he lost to Edge.
27.
Or Christian, 27.
Yeah.
When they destroyed his car and made him look that little, he had no more aura.
2011 was probably the only decent year for Del Rio. After that, I know he was world champion in 2013, but like, I just never got into Del Rio as a character. I was more into Ricardo Rodriguez than I was Del Rio.
No, and that's hilarious that Ricardo got much more over than Del Rio did in a period of time. But again, they buried the fuck out of him in 2011. They built him up so high, winning the largest Royal Rumble in history.
Which that sucked.
Oh, yeah. Some fun returns. There were some fun returns, but
yeah, a couple, but like overall.
Yeah, no, overall, the Rumble 40-man Rumble, that was hodgepodge.
Ooh.
And Del Rio, when your final two are Del Rio and Santino fucking Marella in a spot where everybody thought and wanted Marella to win. Yeah. And then they buried the fuck out of Del Rio at WrestleMania that year.
Yep. And then they proceed to give him Money in the Bank. They proceed to have him beat CM Punk. They have him
That's right. He did beat Punk after what was it? After his match with
Cena.
Cena.
Because that was the whole Kevin Nash comes down, jackknifes him. Del Rio kicks him and wins the title. And then Del Rio won the title back.
I remembered Kevin Nash in that spot for some reason, but for some reason I thought he was in wrestling gear, so I was like, I don't think Punk had a match with Kev.
No. He was supposed to. And then it became a Triple H Kevin Nash storyline, which was like, why?
Yeah. Because Triple H had to get his big nose involved. Other than that, though, yeah, we got Jey Uso out of the way. Yep. I think he has to win, but to do it over Gunther, and again, I don't know why people are saying, and they've been doing this with the last couple recent champions, saying that Damian Priest didn't have a good run. Rhea Ripley, understandable. She didn't do shit on TV other than just segments, but her in-ring title matches were good.
I am slowly losing interest in Rhea Ripley.
Oh, just because they are booking her way too much. She just had what? Her and Liv Morgan just ran the last 2-3 years of the fucking women's division on Raw.
I mean, basically, but it's not just that. It's the fact that they're trying to book her as a babyface, but she's really annoying.
She's a really good heel too.
She's a good heel. The stuff with Dominic was great, but after that, it's she's giving me 2020.
When you oversaturate someone, it tends to happen. Because there's people getting tired of Liv Morgan too,
I'm not tired of Liv Morgan. I think Liv
also, 2 years ago when people started turning on Bianca because of how much she'd been used and stuff like that, it happens. People start getting tired of things, and it happens to different people at different times.
I have never tired of Bianca Belair.
Oh no, because she's fucking incredible.
Bianca is the prototypical WWE superstar. She is, and I've sung her praises before. I will continue to sing her praises because Bianca, ever since that WrestleMania 37 match against Mercedes, has been on another freaking level. She turned her game up so fast. She is the women's division star. It's not Charlotte.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
It's Bianca Belair. Period. End.
It's Bianca and it's Io. Those are your two best in-ring go-tos. If you need a damn good women's match, you put anybody against those two.
And that's why I'm kind of disappointed that it's not just Io and Bianca. I
am 150% fine with this being a triple threat because this is the NXT Big Three. Having this as a triple threat match is something that they should have done back in NXT, but they didn't.
Well,
they had interactions. But the triple threat always had a Sasha or a Charlotte involved.
Mm-hmm.
Having this match at WrestleMania, I think, is the good move.
I think so too, but
Rhea losing can have her go away for a while because I think she's got time away coming up anyway.
Possibly. I feel like this is Bianca's to win. I like Io's guy. Well. I don't think.
I feel like it's totally Bianca's to win because the next story going forward is her as champion, Naomi and Jade on the outside.
Mm.
So that's going to be the story going forward, or at least it should be.
I
also don't like making Io the stepping stone champion having about a month reign.
I'm almost wondering, which it doesn't make any sense because they took the title off of Rhea, if they're going to make Io eat the pin at WrestleMania.
I feel like you have to have Rhea take the pin. If she's going to be going away for a while, you've got to have Rhea take the pin.
And I feel like this match is going to take place before the Naomi Jade match. Because if they do it after and Bianca gets involved in the Naomi Jade match, then Jade is probably going to cost Bianca the match, which will lead to either an Io retention or a Rhea win.
I feel like you have Bianca, Rhea, Io, night one. I'm not sure of the placement, but that's a big enough match that it could either start the show or be main event of night one.
I feel like the opening of night one is Jade and Gunther.
Mm-hmm. And we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
We talked about that last week. But I think you have to have Bianca Jade on night two. Or not Bianca, Naomi Jade on night two.
Yeah.
That way you split them up enough to where Bianca should be just in the crowd or, not a factor match-wise. She already had her match on night one. So, you could do that. If you put them on the same night, then yes, you have to have Bianca and Jade happen after the triple threat.
Yeah.
Naomi Jade. Why do I keep saying Bianca? That triple threat's going to happen too, though.
Bianca, Jade, Naomi, probably.
Yeah, I don't know when. I don't think they're going to carry it all the way to SummerSlam. That's a fucking stretch. But yeah, maybe. What's the other big one before SummerSlam? Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank. Yeah.
They could probably have the triple threat at Money in the Bank because they're building that as like a big five, like the outside cousin of the big four.
I'm trying to think. I'm torn between whether I want the night one main event to be. It's going to be one of the triple threats. I think is going to main event night one. I don't know if it's the women's title match or if it's going to be Reigns, Rollins, Punk.
I think it's going to be Reigns, Rollins, Punk, and it's going to be 100% because of politics.
Listen, Punk gets his Mania main event then.
No, legit. I think it's legit giving him his Mania main event, and once that match ends and he goes backstage, Hunter's going to look him dead in the eyes and go, "Don't ask me for a fucking thing again."
I don't know if that's the case because Punk has been like he's been a good horse since he's come back.
Yeah.
So.
Hasn't caused problems.
No.
Hasn't been, he's been involved in NXT and stuff like that.
Yeah. Which I think is what he wants to do when he's done.
Wasn't that a Sean's report or a couple months ago that he wants to help with the NXT booking team whenever he's done in the ring?
Yeah.
Which I can see that. He'll probably make himself an on-screen fucking GM role, but.
All right. Now that we're done with wrestling, let's talk about some of the ongoings of NFL free agency. We figured Aaron Rodgers would make a decision last week at some point. But...
There's a reason fucking my co-host Cap calls him Ernest T. Bass.
Yeah. I don't care what he does at this point. I'm sick of all of it.
This is taking too long. He's done this how many years now?
And I don't know if he's the same kind of guy that can require this kind of attention. He didn't do well with the Jets the entire time he was there. He blew out his Achilles in 4 plays the first year and then didn't do fuck all the second year. So it's why are you trying to demand
Okay, he didn't have a terrible season last year. He didn't have a terrible season. Aaron Rodgers, compared to his seasons, yeah, it's a dog shit year for Aaron Rodgers. But I think he still put up over 3,500 yards or some shit like that.
Maybe
he had a pretty decent average season for an average level quarterback. But that's not Aaron Rodgers.
One of the big
him to go Giants or you guys, right?
Yeah, because the Vikings basically said nah.
Yeah, it looks like they're going all in on JJ McCarthy, who, mind you, just blew out his fucking ACL last year. So we'll see how that works out.
Right. Cincinnati agreed to terms with both Jamar Chase and T. Higgins.
I have some issues with this. Not with the Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase deserves that bag. Why the fuck are you going to put your franchise tag on someone that you know you're going to pay 4 years, $100+ million a year? Why would you waste your franchise tag? Why wouldn't you have put that on someone like Alex Kappa, who just went to the Raiders?
Why wouldn't you put it on Trey Hendrickson?
Dude, like the franchise tag is there to secure someone for 1 year whenever you are not able to get a contract done. Yeah. They got a deal done with Higgins the week after he got tagged.
Yep. Hey, listen, that's a front office thing. My biggest thing with the Cincinnati Bengals, great, you got your big offensive weapons. You realize almost half of your salary cap is tied up in 3 players.
Yeah.
That's not good.
None of those are protection spots. Those 3 are your quarterback and 2 wideouts.
Yeah. So
if
congratulations.
One of those go down, you fucked.
Oh, yeah. But the Bengals season is pretty much cooked if any of those 3 go down. Which it might be cooked anyway if you don't have anybody to
load management in the NFL.
I mean, Sean has said some things about like Cincinnati's defense and how like it's not a big deal, but it's like losing Trey Hendrickson, who was one of the biggest. I think he was the sack leader last year, wasn't he?
For them, yes. And then Sam Hubbard retired after 7 seasons.
Yeah,
like that's 2 big deals leaving.
So those aren't easy spots to replace. And like you might not necessarily find those key pieces in the draft or like.
I mean, free agency, we've already seen a lot of the big names shuffle around. Like the other big names are old guys that people aren't taking shots at. Like the fact that Stephon Diggs is still a free agent baffles me.
I mean, I feel like Stephon Diggs is like status has dropped significantly since his time in Buffalo.
Oh yeah,
because he was highly sought after he played in Buffalo, but I don't know if it's like an attitude thing or if it's.
I think it's an attitude thing because that's seemingly been the issue with him. It was an issue in Buffalo. It was a major issue in Minnesota, which is why they let him go to Buffalo.
Right.
But yeah, and when it comes to going back to the Bengals defense. When you have a quarterback that puts up 5 to 6 touchdowns in a game, he did it 2 to 3 times last year, and you lose those fucking games, yeah, your defense is a bit more of a problem than you think it is. And what my coworkers said was on the offense, you have a Bentley and a Maserati in your front yard, but you do not have a garage to keep those safe.
I'm telling you, like, they're basically asking Joe Burrow to have 500-yard, 5 or 6 touchdown games every single week at this point.
And to stay healthy.
And to stay healthy. They have to be offensive juggernauts, like more so than the Philadelphia Eagles, to have a chance to possibly make the playoffs.
I don't want to say that because that's bold. They are much more of a second half of the season team.
They are.
But I don't know if Cincinnati makes the playoffs this year like they missed out last year.
I feel like this is going to be like, yeah, you got your offensive weapons, but it's gonna.
And you locked them down.
It's gonna bite them so hard, though. If they have to sacrifice this much of their salary cap towards 3 offensive guys, again, Burrow has a history. Burrow has a history of injuries, so he's a great quarterback. I'm not saying he's not, but you tie his injury history in with the fact that I don't know how the offensive line stacks up in Cincinnati. It's going to have to be good. It's going to have to be like protecting Brady in 2007 good, but I don't think it's that good. So you're putting a quarterback who has a history of injuries at risk with two other highly paid players, and you've got scraps for the rest of the team. It's
Dude, you are paying $200 million in the next 4 years to 2 wide receivers.
Yep.
To 2 wide receivers. Now, if you would have went, and I'm not saying that you would have went and got a first-round pick for T. Higgins, but if you would have went and got some draft capital or another player on a decent contract for T. Higgins, things would be a little different in Cincinnati. Maybe they'd be able to go out and get, a defensive star or something, make some moves like Denver did with 3 defensive spots that we filled. But no, they decided to go all in on a big 3 that has no offensive line.
Yeah,
I'm looking up how many sacks Joe Burrow ate last year.
Yeah, because if it's above like 20, then
he got sacked 48 fucking times last year.
Holy shit. I don't know if Roethlisberger got sacked that many times in one season. He might have done it one season. But even still, and Ben was a little more of a mobile quarterback than Joe Burrow. But I mean, ish, I guess.
Good. Yeah.
48 sacks for an injury-prone quarterback.
48 times he got hit.
That's not including the times he just got hit. Oof.
Yeah, no, he probably got hit upwards of maybe 90 plus times.
Yeah.
Because there were all of those incredible throws that he made on the run.
Yeah. Josh is saying that the Browns might have Carson Wentz as a veteran QB option. What? You don't want Deshaun Watson as your veteran quarterback? Mr. I ruptured my Achilles twice.
Hey, at least they're bringing in somebody of championship caliber.
Kenny Pickett.
Hey, no. Now they have 2 Super Bowl winning quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz, I think, he's got 2 of them because he had one when he was on the bench for the Chiefs.
Yep. If you guys go for Shedeur Sanders at number 2, you have fun. Okay, like I feel like
it's going to be fun to watch.
Shedeur is a decent player. I will say that. However, I think he gets a ton of hype because of who his dad is and where he played. If he would have played at like Nebraska or like UCLA or something like that, probably not. He probably would have been more overhyped if he played at USC, Caleb Williams. But it's one of those things where Shedeur is a good quarterback, but will that translate to the NFL? We can't say that just because he was good in college means he's going to be a star in the NFL. It's just like maybe he wasn't a star in college. He could be a major star in the NFL. Ben Roethlisberger, like he played at Miami of Ohio, wasn't that well known from his college days. But he played in the NFL, 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback, Hall of Fame bound, first ballot, in my opinion. You just don't know. You can't put all this stock in these first rounders that may or may not perform the way you want them.
And I will say, and this isn't me defending him at all, where he played doesn't necessarily matter. Because if it wasn't for Dion and them coming to CU, nobody would have given a damn about CU. I think we had a 1-win season before they came over.
Yep.
So it's definitely not where he played, but it's definitely name value.
Yep. And granted, Arch Manning may have that same type of stock too, because he's learned from Peyton and Eli, 2 of the greatest IQ quarterbacks in NFL history. Yeah. So again, we'll see if that translates to the NFL. That remains to be seen.
It's going to be interesting. The draft coming up real soon. That's going to be real interesting.
Yep, we'll have some pre-draft coverage on the channel beforehand.
And then I think, like every year, me, Cap, might be sitting and watching at least the first round.
Yeah. Makes sense. I know that next year, I would like to be able to attend the draft next year, at least one of the nights. Just because it's going to be in Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
Just like I want to attend the freaking Pat McAfee thing next month. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, did you get your tickets to that?
I haven't yet. I was going to get them the day they released, but ticket sales,
Scalpers, man.
I'm telling you. Like I tried to get in very quickly and it just did not happen. I also got to see if Fame is going.
So, just to give a little bit of clarification, Shedeur Sanders and Travis Hunter, them going in the first round, will be the first time a CU Buff had went in the first round since 2011. And there were two. Nate Soldier, who played offensive line for those New England Patriots Super Bowl teams.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Smith, cornerback for the Baltimore Ravens. Rest in peace, Jimmy Smith. I believe he passed away, last year or the year before?
I think so, yeah.
But yeah, it'll be the first time in 14 years that we've had a first-round pick. First time in it's really going back for – it'll be the first time since 97 that it'll be a top 10 pick out of CU.
That's assuming their stock doesn't fall between now and then. Is that going to happen?
Which is possible, but I don't see – I see the Browns grabbing Shedeur Sanders at 2.
There's talk about the Steelers, if he falls that far, drafting Jalen Monroe out of Alabama.
Dude, if you guys get Jalen Monroe, that is – you guys have an offensive line. You guys have weapons at wide receiver. That's essentially a fucking Derrick Henry that has an arm.
Again, we will see. I don't know if he'll fall that far. But...
I don't think he will, but you guys pick right after us, so.
But again, we saw it last year with the trade up for Broderick Jones. Like, if the Steelers want him that badly, they'll trade up. I don't know.
Yeah, that was out of left field, and it worked out dividends for you because Broderick Jones is a fucking monster on that left tackle.
I'll tell you what, I don't know what Dan Moore did and who his agent fleeced to get $80 million for 4 years, but good on his agent. Dan Moore was Josh is saying that whatever the Browns' plan is, it was enough to keep Myles Garrett. It's called giving him
no, it was money. I don't know if that was a plan. I think that was, hey, I will give you $40 million a year. Please stay.
Yeah. Again, I don't know if having a solid game plan was the thing, because Myles Garrett changed his tune really quick about wanting to be on a Super Bowl winning team.
Yeah, it went from I want championships to how much are you paying me?
Yeah.
He was on his way out the door and they yelled 40 million and he turned right back around like fucking Homer Simpson's dad.
Which, wouldn't you?
I don't know if I could turn down 40 million for almost anything.
Listen, if I have 40 million over my lifetime, I'd be happy.
I don't think I'll see 40 million in my life.
Yeah. You never know. Lottery's up that high. You never know. The draft is the last week of April. So whatever that day is.
Last week of April, let me see. Because it's usually on a Wednesday, isn't it?
Thursday. So I'm thinking it's April 24th.
Yeah, that would be April 24th because the month ends on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure it is April 24th, actually.
So that'll at least be the first round of the draft.
It's going to be crazy. There's a lot of incredibly hyped talent. Like, we haven't seen a running back like Ashton Jeanty in forever. And if he fails, it's going to be one of those, well, he played for Boise.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't do a ton in the college football playoffs.
Which was to be expected. You came out of the Mountain West. Those Mountain West schools don't have an offensive line to stop a Penn State, to stop a fucking top-level school.
Yeah.
Well, we got 9 minutes left, Greg. I believe it's time to go on into promotion.
It is time to go into promotion because I'm going to take that off the screen very briefly. So if you follow the Love Wrestling account, they do a little show called Quizplex, which is partially wrestling trivia, but it's a lot of raising money for good causes. So points can actually be bought if you want to go subscribe over there. Because next Tuesday at 10 o'clock Eastern Time, yours truly will be on Quizplex alongside independent wrestler Cecil Nix and the Quizplex champion streamer Wheezy Blonde. And I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a good episode. I've been studying a couple episodes of Quizplex just to know what I'm getting myself into. It's
Is it
not
like
easy.
General knowledge?
Like some of the questions are actually pretty challenging. From what I've seen, I've been able to get some of them, but again, this is an important part that if you go to there and you want to see me do well, if you want to support me, then there are rules to submit, like donate money directly to the charity of choice.
And could you pull that up one more time? What's the charity that they're supporting?
I believe it's the Logan Center.
Okay.
So if you want to donate to that directly and send a screenshot of your donation to the Love Wrestling account or to Zach Ralph, who hosts the show, then points will be added to whoever scores. So if you want to send in like $5 or something for me, then I get like 50 points or something. So granted, it's wrestling trivia, which I've been known to be good at a time or two, but a lot of the points involved in Quizplex come off the donations. So if you want to go support that on Tuesday, I'll definitely be plugging it all over social media just to get people involved and to hopefully become Quizplex champion, because that's a very good possibility. Also, I'm really looking forward to sharing the screen with people next, who I've watched a little bit of his independent wrestling experience. He's done stuff with like mystery wrestling and stuff like that, so that's pretty cool. And obviously,
he's popped up for mystery.
Yeah, and also sharing the screen with Wheezy Blonde. That should be a good time.
All right, I just looked up the Logan Center charity just to know what they're about. So the Logan Community Resources Incorporated serves adult and children with intellectual and developmental disabilities, including autism services, residential services, and day programs, including employment services. So they do some good work helping out those with disabilities, those with autism services. So it's a very worth charity to go support. So yeah, I'll be tuning in.
Yeah. So so if you guys want to tune into that, again, I will be plugging that all over social media. If you want to submit some stuff to that, again, it's this coming Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern. So it'll be right after NXT over on the YouTube Love Wrestling CA YouTube channel. So go over there and subscribe. Get ready for that. Turn the notifications on so you don't miss it. Turn the notifications on to this channel so you don't miss anything. But yeah, it's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good to get in like a little bit of the wrestling trivia side of things. But again, it's been a hot minute since I've been into that side of things. It'll be a good time.
If there's 3 minds in trivia that I know and that I think could win at almost anything, you're up in there.
It's you, Chris Cass, and Dude Hayes. So of those three minds, I think you got this.
It's funny you mention that. We used to be a stable over in Combat Wrestling Trivia, the three of us.
If y'all still did trivia like group shit, you guys would go undefeated everywhere.
Oh yeah, like we only did one group match together, and like I was the one who pulled out the victory in that, so that was pretty cool. But yeah, it's going to be a fun time. I'm very excited about it. Very excited because it's almost 3 years to the day. It's like 3 years in a week or so since my Quizlemania appearance. So that was
Jesus fuck, has it really been that long?
It's been 3 years, bro.
Dude, how long have I been on the show with you?
Quite a bit, if you remember.
Good God, time flies, man.
Yeah, it's
3
been a
years.
long time. 3 years since my
God
Quizlemania.
damn. And we're still going.
But we're still going. Yep. So hopefully it can bring home the Quizplex championship. Hold on to that for a month, and then I believe if I win, I get to choose my own charity for the next month. So that'll be cool. So go over there. Go subscribe to Love Wrestling CA. Again, I will be plugging it as much as I can over on my social medias, especially the day of. So go check that out. It's almost that time, Maddie. It's almost time for Wednesday Night Dynamite.
That it is.
So with that said, I think I will close the show on that. Again, go support Love Wrestling CA. Go donate to the charities and figure out how you can submit your receipts to get me some points for Quizplex, because you never know. I might need them. It all depends.
Help a guy out.
So for Maddie Laws, I am Greg Cherry. Go enjoy Dynamite. Go enjoy whatever you guys are going to watch tonight. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you Tuesday on Quizplex, and I'll see you, we'll both see you next week on the Greg Cherry Show. Don't be a jag. Have a good week.
Keep your eyes on the Raw Ball podcast as well.
A field trip to